go ahead and watch it first, and then come back and watch this review after. So right off the bat, I think this is probably the most exciting episode of Walking Dead ever. From beginning to end of the episode, we get just so many exciting scenes. It's hard to even count or hard to even keep in mind. And of course, the cliffhanger at the ending is awesome. Now, the preview at the end of the episode kind of maybe spoiled it a little bit because you did see Daryl there while he's kind of like, like running or doing something in the forest or something like that, which, that's kind of, interesting because the way it ends, you think that it almost makes sense for the governor's men to just, like a firing line, to put down both Daryl and Merle, or at least one of them. So if Daryl's out there and he is in the preview, that would mean that he's going to have to obviously survive. Maybe Merle won't, because obviously the governor is going to blame the death of his daughter 100% on Merle, and also the loss of his eye is all his fault, really. So in that situation, I would assume that Merle's probably going to bite the bullet pretty soon, maybe even at the beginning of the next episode. The governor may want to keep Daryl for questioning or stuff like that, and maybe Daryl will be forced to change sides, or maybe he'll let him go, or I guess we'll see what happens with it. But regardless, wow, such an exciting episode. So let's start from the beginning. As we know in the previews from the trailers, AMC kind of began to not keep things under wraps, and right off the bat, we saw Tyrese. So for me, obviously, since we already knew he was going to be in the episode, it wasn't that shocking or anything. For somebody that had no idea, that would probably be pretty exciting, but to just see it mark out all of a sudden. I like the way he's got the axe. I like the way Chad Coleman plays. I think he does a really good job. Seems like he's the leader of his group, kind of telling the others what to do, what they're making the decision of what they're going to do, and kind of find their way to the prison with the back part all destroyed and kind of down with the fence and everything going right inside. I also thought it was a really cool scene where you have Chandler Riggs, Carl's character, where he's walking through, and he's just got the cowboy hat on and the gun and everything from Silencer, and he's just such a badass kid. It's awesome. I think he's a really cool character. I liked how he told Herschel that his dad would go, so he has to. It's his responsibility because Riggs not there and everything like that. He kind of takes charge as the leader, even though he's like, what, how old is he supposed to be, like 10, 13, something like that? I don't even know at this point. But definitely, those scenes were all really cool. The girl getting bitten and everything that happened with that, them getting inside the prison, and then Carl locking the cells so they can't actually get in. Another funny scene at the prison, pretty much all we really had. You have Axel talking to Beth, and it's just weird, and she's also 17. And, obviously Carol gets mad, pulls him out. Hilarious scene where he accuses her of being a lesbian because of her hair. I laughed so hard when he did that. I thought that was such a silly and funny thing. Because it's kind of true. She does kind of look like a lesbian, you can see. But obviously, Axel, being a former inmate and everything, he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's just going to throw it out there and see how it goes. So that was pretty much everything I think that happened at the prison. Basically, now we'll get into the events after that. So you have the beginning, Rick, and all the rest of the characters. Oscar, Daryl, and Michonne are outside of the gates. Michonne takes off without Rick's permission. First she shows them a back way in so that they're able to get in. And then she kind of, this was a really cool scene too. Probably the most exciting is where you have Rick and Daryl throw the tear gas down, and they grab Glenn, grab Maggie, and leave with them, take them out of there. And then Michonne sort of splits off from the group after they find shelter for a quick minute to gather their senses inside the building before they head out again. That's kind of a bad move on her part. Maybe Oscar might have been able to make it if she would have stayed with the group. Daryl as well too, maybe, but it seems like he kind of, stayed of his own will. He would have been able to get away, but he didn't want to because he just wanted to see the running man, which, makes sense. You got to imagine that when they were shooting in the smoke, he probably just would have called out for Merle, and Merle maybe heard him, realized who he was shooting at, and then they would have ceased fire. All the other characters, of course, got away. Michonne finds a way out as well, and then at the end, Rick obviously is mad at her and everything. What happened with that? Andrea shooting into the smoke I thought I assumed right off the bat that when the governor would have gotten his eye cut, that it would have been her sword that did it. But I thought it was even better that actually she couldn't reach her sword, and she passed that piece of glass in dirty glass, and puts him in the eye with it. And great acting, of course, by David Morrissey. I love it where he's holding his daughter crying, and he's got this piece of glass coming out of his eye. Oh my god. That was so dark, man. That was one of the darkest things I've seen in The Walking Dead. A lot of scenes in the episode where I mean, you got to try to push her towards one of the fighting heads that's on the ground for the fish tank, and it's like that. And he's trying to like push her towards it and everything. So that fight scene was super exciting too. The gunfights were awesome. I like where Rick, just kind of goes down and starts blasting the guys in the wall away.